1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Dr. Dan Bell studies blueberry genetics at the University of Maine.
We use the tuning forks because they're at about the same frequency at which a bumblebee will beat its wings when it goes near the flowers, so pollen will kind of shake out and then land on the bee, and then the bee will take it with it.
Without pollination, blueberries would never turn into blueberries, and plants could not produce viable seeds. Dan Bell hand-pollinates blueberry flowers one at a time to get a better understanding of their genetics. Pollination is a way for plants to spread their genes around and to increase their genetic diversity. A plant might produce different numbers of berries depending on the pollen it receives.
2 cases, the lowest producer in each of 2 fields did poorly in their own natural environment and were bumped up significantly in yield by being pollinated by any of the other 3 male siring environments in that field.
So receiving pollen from certain individuals increased the number of berries a plant produced. Dan has also confirmed that some individuals produce a lot of berries no matter what pollen they receive, even if it's pollen from themselves. He calls these good selfers.
What we found was that knowing the self-fertility on the x-axis is a good predictor of the general outcross yield of that clone.
Learning about how a plant fits into the ecosystem can help growers determine how best to manage their fields. For example, although low-bush blueberries were never planted, growers could use this knowledge to decide how best to fill bare spots in their fields.
Now we can say with some degree of experimental evidence of if you do this, you'll double your chances of filling in those bare areas with good yielders.
Dan also looks at how blueberry plants, known as clones, are related to each other. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but that might not be true for low-bush blueberries. The roots of a blueberry bush are like thick mats, difficult for a seed to penetrate. So how do blueberries get their seeds to new locations? And how far are the seeds traveling?
And we found that basically out about 12.5 kilometers, clones become less related at that distance. And that kind of agrees with what we see as the distances that birds, migratory robins, and bears may travel.
This year, Dan is studying blueberries within a field that bloom at different times.
All the plants in this field don't bloom at the same time, they stagger over time.
Are those that bloom earlier better selfers? His reasoning is that the early bloomers may have adapted to do well by self-pollination, since not many others are flowering at that time. Earlies may also be more effectively pollinated, since they're the only food source available to bees.
They're flying all in and around a single clone, affecting basically self-pollinations. So it may be to that clone's advantage to be a good selfer in that situation, because that's all they're getting.
Dan continues to study blueberry genetics out of both the University of Maine in Orono and the USDA in Maryland.